Let's open some boxes. That's a knife. Welcome back to the Midlife Ride. My name is Chris. Catherine is behind the camera today. And you might be wondering to yourself, what's this video about? I mean, it's not a Vegas video. It's not a barbecue video. One of the reasons why we named this channel what we did is because there's more to life than just Vegas. So one of the things that goes along with life is acquiring new interests and new pursuits, and that's what we're doing here today. I have always been fascinated by survival and the skills that go along with it, but also as a couple, we have been in some precarious situations, whether it was walking the islands of Tahiti in areas that maybe we should not have been hiking in alone, and also in Aruba where we hiked for a really long time without seeing another person, or during hikes around here at Raven Run. If you have any issues with like claustrophobia, there are spots here where that could absolutely come into play. At Natural Bridge, hold on a second. In Crossville, Tennessee, when we were exploring the waterfalls.
We have zero service out here, so we are unable to use any of the like All Trails app or anything like that.
And probably the most memorable for us was when we were in Mexico and got hit by Hurricane Wilma without a way back home. That situation is definitely the closest to a survival situation that we have ever been in.
I don't want to say I was scared because honestly, I'm naive, and if I'm with Chris, I'm not scared. But that situation, looking back, could have been really bad.
And most recently, on our trip back home from Vegas in December, if you all remember, right before Christmas, it got really cold. The wind chill was around minus 30 when we landed, and that drive home from Cincinnati back to Lexington, things could have ended very badly there. And we were not prepared. If I'm totally honest, we were not prepared for anything that may have arisen during that trip back home. Now, you might also be saying, this is just a midlife crisis, right? It's not a midlife ride, it's a midlife crisis. Hey honey.
Yeah?
Can we build a bunker?
No. I don't think it's a midlife crisis. Like, my first instinct was that you're getting paranoid in your old age. Honestly, I just think you've latched on to something, got obsessed about it, and have to buy all the stuff. That's my assessment. But we'll see what happens.
In the end, like I said, I've always been fascinated with the skills that go along with survival, but also having me actually be concerned for our lives in certain situations makes me want to have this stuff. And that's why I have gone out, with the help of Catherine, to go out and build this personal survival kit. And the ultimate goal for me personally is to learn how to use all this stuff, but also to never have to use this stuff in a survival situation. And also let me lead off by saying I am not an expert. Do not take this as professional advice. I watched a lot of videos. I have watched every Survivorman ever made. I read his book. And the experts say to do it yourself. Build your own kit. Do you like to do it yourself? So that's what I did. I went out and made my own. So it's time for a little show and tell. Now you may notice a theme as we go along. There's a lot of orange in this kit, and the reason being is that it is highly visible. Now the other thing I'll add is that yes, this is a personal survival kit, but I am building it with two people in mind, me and Catherine, because it is very, very rare that we are apart. especially when we're out hiking or exploring. Basically, we don't do anything apart from each other than doctor's appointments and trips to the grocery store, basically. So we're always together. I am building this survival kit for the two of us. Now, if you're interested in any of this stuff, we will put links to most of it in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. So let's see what we have here. Now, some of this stuff is not that expensive. Other bits of it are expensive. And I'm going to start with those first. And number one was a belt knife. After watching many reviews and many YouTube videos and reading lots of stuff on the internet, I decided on this SE Laser Strike. Feels really good in my hand. I can hold it like 3 different ways, like this, and like this if I want more of a chef's knife grip. But I am looking forward to using this knife. This is me using the SE Laser Strike for the first time. Yep, that'll work. Now, another costly piece was a good multi-tool. And I went with a Leatherman because it is a highly respected brand, really heavy duty multi-tool. And I went with the Leatherman Charge Plus, the one that has the orange grip on it. Again, just something that stands out in nature in case I drop this thing. It's going to make it a lot easier to spot. And then another kind of expensive item was a compass. And I opted for the Suunto MC2 because it came highly recommended. I watched lots of videos about compasses and now I need to learn to use one. But the nice thing about this compass, besides all of its features, is that it adds another element to the survival kit, and that is a mirror, either for signaling or hygiene, or if you need to put makeup on in a survival situation. One of the things most everyone knows about a compass is that it will get you out of trouble, but something that not everyone knows is it'll also lead you into trouble. Oh, hey honey. Now, the other item that was a little bit pricey was a stainless steel pot. And I got one that was big enough for 2 people. This is a 14 centimeter zebra pot. Stainless steel, really heavy duty. It could be used for so many things. Cooking food, boiling water to purify it, transporting fire, holding some of your survival gear. So this is the one I went with. There are lots of good ones out there, but this is the one I decided on. Now, another item that I almost always have in my back pocket is a bandana. Yes, this one is black, it's not orange. I also have one in red and blue, but I didn't want to go with, Crips or Bloods on this, so I just have my one that I carry every day, which is a black one. Basically, never underestimate the usefulness of a bandana in your back pocket. Now, another thing we found were these tiny LED flashlights. Now, I wanted to test these little LED flashlights in the actual dark. So we're outside right now and hit it, honey. You know what? That's pretty impressive for a little tiny LED light. That'll do the trick. And I think this will be attached to what I'm getting ready to show you next. And that is a whistle. Again, it's orange to be easily spotted. So this whistle will definitely be going around my neck, and I think it's a great place to attach the flashlight. Yep, works for me. And I'm also going to carry a butane lighter, mostly because it is windproof. One of the things you're going to notice is that I have placed an emphasis on fire starting. And speaking of fire starting, I decided on a magnesium flint stick. Not only is it great at creating a spark, but you can also shave the magnesium off into a pile and ignite your tinder. It is a great fire starting tool. And even more fire starting, we have some Strike Anywhere matches stored in a watertight Ziploc pouch to keep them dry. And if that wasn't enough fire starting for you, We also have some fire starting tabs. Now, everything I've heard is that these things are great. They are great at taking a spark and creating a fire. They burn for 1 to 2 minutes, so these are definitely going in my kit. Again, in a Ziploc bag to keep them dry. And in case you get a headache while you're out there, there's nothing better you can have on hand than some painkillers. And we have decided to put in our Ziploc bag some ibuprofen and also some naproxen. Now, another thing I decided on was some paracord. Again, orange. And now that I'm carrying rope, that also means that I have to learn how to tie knots, which I've already started. And then in case we get hungry out there, I'm also packing away not 1, but 2 protein bars, 1 for each of us. And then another thing I've added to the kit, it's not much, but it is like it's like a sandwich size Ziploc bag. It has so many uses: to keep things dry, like tinder, to store some water. Another thing I decided to add to our kit was an emergency thermal blanket, like a space blanket. And the ones we found are actually orange on one side, and then that usual space blanket silver you see on the other side. 2 of these in our personal survival kit, 1 for each of us. And last but not least, an orange garbage bag, large one. And I'm going to carry 2 of these, again, 1 for each of us. These serve so many purposes, from water collection to building a shelter, to waterproofing a shelter, to making a poncho. That'll work as a poncho, right? Looks good. And now it's what to do with all this stuff. Well, from everything I've learned so far, the best thing to do is to put as many things in your pockets as possible, because you may get separated from your bag, but chances are you're not going to be separated from your pockets. And I'm sorry to say, that means I'm going to have to break out the old cargo shorts. I was able to fit a lot of that stuff on me. I have the multi-tool on my belt, the belt knife obviously on my belt, I have garbage bag in my pocket, emergency blanket in my pocket, bandana in my pocket, compass in my pocket, lighter in my pocket. I have a whistle and flashlight around my neck. So everything else is going to go into the pot. One thing I'll mention about the pot, and it is a known design issue, like everybody complains about it, but they overlook it because it's such good quality, is those clips are plastic, which will melt in a fire. So there are several videos out there showing you how to make metal clips for your zebra pot. Now, another thing I've learned through all my research is that all the experts say the most important thing to survive is having the will to live. And that's why I think it's appropriate to bring along this bottle of Never Say Die whiskey. Hey, honey.
Yeah?
Can I put whiskey in the survival kit?
No.
Cheers. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of where this ride takes us, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell so that you know every time we release a new video, and we will see you on the next episode of the Midlife Ride.